Okay, let's get started. We're going to do problem number 72, and that's on page 34. So I want your homework to be set up fairly similar to what I'm doing here. Put the number of the problem here, the title of the problem set on the top. Make sure your name is on it. Okay, go ahead and do that now. So for number 72, it talks about sulfuric acid. You may be panicking, oh my gosh, I don't know what sulfuric acid is, I don't know the formula for it. Well, let's read and see if we really need to know that. We're commonly referred to as battery acid. It says that we have 0.500 liters of battery acid. Okay, so 0.500 is what? Liters. That tells us that's a volume. Okay? We know that the battery acid is a mixture of water and H2SO4, and it tells us that the density of this is 1.28 grams per milliliter. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down. And last but not least, we have some information that the solution, okay, then the solution of the acid, why did they call it a solution? The reason they called it that is because it's made of two things. It's composed of water and sulfuric acid. Okay? So it's composed of the two things. That's why we're talking about a solution. And this solution is 38% sulfuric acid. Okay, by the way, sulfuric acid is H2SO4, so I'm just going to write that because that's what it is. You don't actually need to know that, though, to solve the problem. Okay. Can you figure out how you're going to work this? I'll tell you the hint. The hint right here in density. Density is what's the formula for density, or what's the concept of density? It's the mass of a particular volume, the ratio of mass divided by volume. Remember that we learned that we love density. You can kind of make that into a heart. Density is mass divided by volume. So, since we know the density is 1.28 grams per milliliter, I always write my units, even when I'm solving problems that are pretty simple. I know that that's equal to the mass, which we don't know, and I know that the volume, look, we got volume, we have volume, it's 0.500 liters, but do you notice anything about this? The units are incompatible. So you're going to have to remember to yourself that there's 1,000 milliliters in a liter, or that half of a liter is 500 milliliters. So the volume is 500 milliliters. Okay? In order to solve a problem like this, we cross multiply and we solve. So we have 1.28 grams per milliliter times 500 milliliters equals the mass that we're trying to solve for. Okay? So 1.28 times 500, 640. 640 grams is the mass. Yay, I'm done. No, you're not done. This is 640 grams of solution. The question asked how much sulfuric acid was in there. So what other piece of information do we need to use to solve this problem? We need this information. It's 38% sulfuric acid. It weighs 640 grams. How much of that is sulfuric acid? That's a simple problem then. The H2SO4 is equal to 38%, or 0.381, okay, times 640 grams. And that is the answer we're looking for. So 640 times 0.381, 244. Okay? For my class, I'd like you to always box your answer. Once you've boxed your answer, you can go on to the next one.